Good day everyone and welcome to Exile News, the weekly show that brings you all the important news and information on Path of Exile. And the first news this week has been a thank you from Chris Wilson himself and from GGG as well for how the event went. The event was amazing, both on the sides of the developers and the sides of those who actually went there, and even the people who watched really enjoyed it, except those guys that just cried for drops, but no one cares about those. Anyway, we also got a recap for the ExileCon with some very nice photos. You can see they tried to decorate the interior as the Fire Cathedral, which is pretty much amazing. Look at the windows, that's absolutely stunning. There's also map device, all the kind of cool stuff. Just scroll down more if you want to see more photos, and maybe some other players posted their own around. But really, it's really nice to see how it actually was in there. Also, we got a little bit of an Atlas changes, and really this is what we've already seen last week in the previous recap, pretty much, because Shaper and Elder influences are not going to be the end game anymore, and they're going to be available through some Zana maps, through the use of scarabs, and through other probably random mean, but still the new end game is gonna be the Conquerors, so basically exiles that went mad, and Zana kinda closed them into the map device, so now you will be able to reach them and try to kill them and get the new gems, which we'll see in a second pretty much. But first, we got some new bow skills, and we've already seen these as well, but still, here's a bit more details. So the ranged attack totem is now called Ballista, and it's renamed in Ballista Totem Support, and to be honest, the name looks much cooler, so that's already a good change. And you can have 3 of those at the same time as a start, so even if you're not, for example, starting Templar and you're not specializing in totem themselves, you can still use 3 ballistas, so that's actually pretty good. Also, they place much faster, which is again probably a perk for those who just go ranger with this and don't really get all of the totem nodes, although they have new passive added to the passive tree specific for ballistas and other attack totems, so it's probably going to be on the right bottom right side of the tree, which is gonna make it a little bit more interesting, and you might not be actually forced to go into like Templar for these builds, so we'll see how that goes. Also, the ballistas place quite close to your character, and this is gonna be important for your positioning, because the shrapnel ballista, which is one of the 2 new ballistas, is actually low level. I suspect it's gonna be like level 10, but anyway, it fires 3 projectiles at once, which can actually shotgun, and this is the first skill that can actually shotgun since the big shotgun nerf that GGG made like, what, 4 years ago? I don't even remember, but it was a big deal back then. So having a new skill that shotguns is pretty amazing, and this I predict is gonna be very, very good against bosses like the Brine King, which is very stationary and very big, so he's always gonna get hit by pretty much every shot, and he's gonna get definitely wrecked by this. Also, there's gonna be an artillery ballista, which is a level 28 skill, just like the big AoE skills pretty much, and it fires a series of arrows in a line, although the line is kind of diagonal, and it's controlled by an AI. Basically, it's calculated so that he hits the most targets it can, so that should be pretty good. And well, that actually converts all of the damage to fire, so it's pretty interesting. Also, one thing we haven't considered about the shrapnel ballista, going back to it, is the fact that it has to be quite close to shotgun, and as we said, the ballistas are placed close to your character, so you have to go very close to the boss and to drop your ballistas now, which is pretty interesting. Hopefully that's gonna be a good counter to the fact that this ballistas looks pretty damn strong. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. There's also a new utility skill, which is an ensnaring arrow, and it fires a single arrow if it hits and doesn't pass through, so you can't have pierce. Also, you probably won't be able to use fork or chain for it, and basically latches the monster to the point. It's gonna decrease very much the move speed of the monster, and it doesn't say if the action speed or just the move speed, probably just the move speed, so not gonna work really well on archers and the kind of monsters, I guess. But anyway, you can have 3 ropes attached to it, and well, that's gonna be really good, although it's probably just gonna be an addition to the boss damage, that if players even need any more damage anyway, because it also gives increased projectile attack damage taken, making the enemies also count as moving always. So probably really good for bleed builds, but just really good in general for the damage taken, and definitely really interesting. Also check the video here, because there's a couple skills showcased here, and it looks really good. Also, there's more significant changes, and GGG says, to some other skills, including explosive arrow. It's been a while since that skill has been dead, so stay tuned for more info on that one. Also, we got more information on the new spell gems plus supports, and these are supposed to be dropped by the Conquerors of the Atlas, so the new endgame drops pretty much, and they only have 5 levels, and at level 1 they are kinda stronger than their normal level. So the thing is, some of those are really fucking boring, like elemental damage with attack is just a bit stronger than the normal one, so really boring stuff. However, something like Spell Cascade is amazing. The description doesn't say shit about it, but as you can see, the normal Spell Cascade you target here in the center, just looking at the thumbnail, and then you get an area before and after the skill, right? And you can see here you have an area on the left and on the right as well, actually the right and left. But you can see this Spell Cascade Plus really changes the way you play, so that's definitely interesting. It's a mechanical change more than a numerical change, really interesting stuff. GMP probably adding 1 more projectiles. I mean, some of those, Cold Pen just adding more stats, it's not that interesting. So some gems are really cool, some gems are mediocre at best, and the plus in the name, I don't know, many people complaining on Reddit already, and I have to say the plus term doesn't really add much, to be honest. And well, some of the names are getting quite long, like the elemental damage with attacks plus support. I don't know, maybe even the plus symbol would have been better, but definitely GG has something in mind. Maybe they want to do plus in the future, who knows. We don't really know, we don't really get to know all of the thoughts that GGG puts behind the gem. It has to be able to survive in the future as well, so they might be doing this because they know there's something that's going to interact in, like, for example, PoE2, and we don't know about it, so that's probably why this is like this, or maybe they didn't have time, but it doesn't matter. They're still able to change it, just like how they changed the fact that all of the support gems now say support in their name. But anyway, that was all for this week, so if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment down below. Also, if you want to remain updated every week, be sure to subscribe to my channel. That was all, I've been your host Zorzo, and I'll see you guys the next time.